For this section, we're going to be focused on the two buttons on your calculator. So if you look at your calculator, there are two buttons. So usually the LOG button, it will be a LOG button, then it will be a LN button. So these are the two buttons dedicated to logarithm. So usually it looks like this, right, on your calculator. Okay, so the LOG is the common log. Then this LN is actually the natural log. Okay, so that's their actual name. Okay, so what is a common log? Okay, so common log are the one with base 10. That means, right, it will be a base 10. So for example, like this, if I write base 10, they actually gave a proper shortcut. The shortcut is a LG. So when you see LG, the base is 10, but they do not write it. So it's like a shortcut dedicated to base 10. So all other log, you need to write the number. So in this case, right, if you don't see any number here, there's no number here, right? So it's an invisible base 10. So that is dedicated just specially for base 10. And that is what we'll call the common log. Now, the natural log is actually a base E. So some of you may be thinking, I do not know what's base E. Yeah, you will not know unless somebody tell you. So what to see on base E, right? Okay, so you look at your LN, on top of it, you will see a EX. You will see a EX function. So in order to activate this function, most of you got to press the button shift or the second function. Okay, so you try doing it. You try to press shift, and then you press the shift, then you press this button, and you press 1. So you try to do that. Activate the EX function by pressing the shift, and then you press 1. You will see that your calculator return you 2.71828182846. So this is the special number. So this is the special number, something like the pi that you learn in primary school. So in primary school, you learn about your pi being like 4.142, blah, 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 blah. So E is another special number. So this E is called a natural number. So the logarithm is that's why they allocate a special symbol. So like for example, if you write a LOG and the base is E. So E is the special natural number. So they allocate it as LNX. So Ln is the one with the natural base. So E is a number. Okay, so it's a special number and they call it natural base. So these are the two special buttons on your calculator dedicated to logarithm. So you gotta get used to it. So when you press the LOG button, it's base 10. When I press the LN button, it's base E, which is a representation of a very long decimal number. Okay, so we can still be converting. We can still convert to indices with these two type of log. So for example, LNX is 2. So Ln represent E. So you do your circular thing, you will get E square. And in fact, what exactly is E square? You can punch your calculator. You press the shift, then Ln button to activate the EX function with a square. So you can give it a try to see whether your pressing is correct or not. Okay, and this LG, when there's no base indicated, that means it's a base 10. So if I change back, 10 cubed will be 1000. Okay, so ln3 means log E3 equal to m. So if I change back, I will get em equal to 3. So get used to the changing. How do you get used to the changing? You can write out the meaning of ln first. You can write out the meaning of lg. Then you do. But as you get used to it, hopefully you do not need to. So for example, part D, LGM. That means it's base 10. So you can directly tell that it's like this. Okay. Okay, this one is a log of x minus y. So if you couldn't see it so directly yet, so you see it like this. So change. That means x minus y is 10 to the power of root 2. Okay. This one is a ln. That means it's a e. So you got to box up the whole algebra. That means if I do the changing, it will be ex minus 3 equal to k. So you can still be changing it. Okay, it's just that it's confined to the two special base that it is being allocated in your calculator. So, okay, let's focus on the changing first. So this one is base e. The answer is 4, the power is x. So that means log 4 equal to x. Okay, the base is 10. The answer is 0.01. So that means it's LG 0.01 equal to minus 2. Base is 10. Answer is 5. Power is n plus 1. So LG 5 equal to n plus 1. So you need to train your mind to be thinking in between all this. So base is E, answer is K, power is 2x. The position is still the same. Base, answer, power. But you just need to change this to the ln, to the notation. So some people, because of the extra step of changing the notation, they get very confused. So you go back to the foundation. So in this one, the base is 10. The answer is 9. The power is x minus 4. And this is the LG. Okay, so the last one, the base is E. The answer is x minus 2. The power is n plus 5. So the symbol for this is ln. So that's how I successfully change in between. So example 5 and example 6 is like changing in between the common log and natural log to indices. So of course it adds one more layer to your thinking. We change the notation. Okay, other than that, the position doesn't change. The power is still like where it is. The base is still where is it. The answer is still where is it. Okay, so this part can be a little bit more confusing. Okay, so you need to digest this part because subsequently you'll be asked to find things that involve such question. So if you look at example 7, you see LG, you see E, you see ln. It's actually very confusing. And the instruction is find y in terms of x. Finding y in terms of x is like your step 2 instruction. Make y the subject. So at the moment, you can only make y the subject when you get rid of the log, when you get rid of the e, or when you get rid of the ln. So your job is to isolate y. Okay, so each of the y, for example, here, the y is hidden in the LG. So you need to get rid of the LG first. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the LG. This is a base 10. LG is base 10. Okay, I need to isolate the y that is being hidden in a log. So I need to do something like this, so that this is the base. This whole thing is the power and is equal to the answer. So can you see? It's like y, the answer is y is 10 to the power of x minus 2 over 2. So you make y the subject through the changing that you know. Okay, so in the next one, the y is hidden in the power. So I'm going to write the base here. The answer is x minus 4. The power is 2y. So I change it to the log format. The base, the answer equal to power. Once I do this, you realize that you kind of free up your 2y. So your 2y is equal to ln x minus 4. And then you can divide by 2. So I free up the y that's in the power by changing it to log. In the next one, the y is hidden in the answer. So this is hidden in the answer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it to the indices format. So I'm going to make use of this as the base, and then this is the power, and I will get the x plus y. So x plus y is e to the power of 4x, and then I isolate the y by bringing the x over. So I'm still relying on my changing, but you might find that it's a bit more difficult because you're faced with the common log and the natural log. Okay, so the changing can come to this stage. And the very last one is they actually can ask you to solve for x. So they can actually ask you to solve for x. That means you will be able to find a value for x. So there is a trick for this kind of question. It looks very complex. Most people at one glance, right, they'll be like, I didn't know what to do. Okay, so you got to be very observant. You observe where is your x. And you also observe that this is pressable because there's no x here. So you can actually punch it on your calculator. You activate your log button. Okay, so you activate the multiplication button, the log button. Okay, you try pressing on your calculator. It should give you a very long decimal. So for a start, maybe you just write more decimal place. And don't forget, you know how to do the interchanging. So do the interchanging. So have more decimal place. And then you punch your calculator. Activate the E button. So when you do that, you get 1.3958358. Then of course you divide by 4. Divide that whole answer, divide by 4, and eventually give a 3SF answer. So in this topic, you cannot expect a nice answer. All the LG, LN, right, they are all not nice. Okay, similarly for the next one, the X is hidden in a base 10. And in fact, this is pressable. So you can input this in your calculator. You input with the LN button, the bracket button. Okay, you got to press the shift button because you need to activate the E. You need to do the shift button and the long button too. Then you do a -1. and then you got to close bracket. If my bracket very ugly. So anyway, you try pressing. Okay, you got to practice your pressing. Or in fact, right, you need to know that they are pressable. They are pressable because there are no X in the whole expression. So you should be getting this number. And then remember, you change. If you change, you get X minus 1 equal to 10 to the power of this. Then you bring the 1 over. So shift the 1 over. So you'll be something like this. Plus 1. So apparently you don't get a nice number. Okay. So you just give a 3 SF. So the solving that involves the common log and the natural log will be a bit harder. And in fact, you also need to know which are the expression that you can press. So the guideline will be if an expression doesn't contain X, that means it's something that you can punch from the calculator, but it's not a very nice value, obviously. Okay, so these are the few things you actually need to practice. Get used to the basic log, natural log, and then what are the kind of questions that involve common log and natural log.